Hello, hello. It's Jamie. I am back with another short tutorial. Maybe short, maybe long, hopefully not too long. Today I thought we'd talk about skin tones and how to color skin in our coloring books. I have a lot of coloring books that are faces. One of my favorite illustrators who does faces is Becket-Griffith, and this is her third book. Mermaids coloring book. She has two others. Let me pull those real quick. I should have pulled them earlier, but they're right here. Here they are. So she has this one, Fantasy Art Adventure. And then she has a Halloween book as well. So today I picked one of her mermaids to color, and I decided, I already cut the page out. I just used an X-Acto knife to cut the page out, and it's right here. So I thought we'd look at this one because we've got three lovely ladies that we can work with and try three different skin tones. I also have this book. This is Color Charts, and it is just off of Amazon. I like it just to put down ideas. So, I mean, if I've taken the time to come up with a skin tone that I really like or anything else, then I put it down in this book. So I've got several skin tones here that I've worked out in the past for different projects. And so I just write them down. Color them out on the paper, write them down, and I can do that with anything. Skin tone is what I've done the most in here, but here's a couple gold, rose gold, and flowers, some foliage ideas, anything I want. So this is a great tool to have and to keep your ideas in so that you can use them later in another book. So we're going to be using this today, and then we're going to be using our Jasmine Becket-Griffith girls, these little mermaids. And then the pencils we're going to use is the Prismacolor Premier set, and I have them in this case, and I reorganize my pencils by color. So I've got all my yellows together, real easy. So we're going to be using them. Everything I use is in the description box down below, and I will have all the pencils and everything that I use as well. So let's get started. Alright, so first we want to pick a skin tone to try. I think for our, let's do, I want to do a darker skinned girl, and then maybe we should do a really pale girl, and then something in between. Should we do this one? This one's pretty simple and a good base. Let's do let's do these three. Okay, so let's start with our we'll put our dark-skinned girl on the farthest left here. Okay, here we are, a little more zoomed in, and our pencils are sharp, ready to go. So we are going to start by doing just a base coat of 1017, which is the Clay Rose. So we just want to put this all over the skin. The area we want the skin to be. The thing with faces, which is the same with a lot of things, is it's not so much about the color you're using, it's more about highlights and shadows. So I've done, especially mermaids, I've done green or blue, any color, And then just pay attention to where the shadows and highlights are, and it's going to look good. So even if you don't have the same pencils, you can apply the same principles. Okay, let's come up. Oh, there's a little hand right there. Okay, up on her face. Okay. Sorry you can hear the fan of my computer. I don't know why it's so noisy. Maybe I could try to add music or something in the background, then you wouldn't hear that. Okay, so we get that base coat on there. Just a light layer. Nothing too hard or exciting. Okay. Then we're going to do, let's see, our next color, 1082, which is chocolate. And we're going to start putting in some shadows. So let's start down here. Just going to go along her tail where some shadows are going to be. Okay. And here. Anything that would cast a shadow. Your tail. Her hair. Okay, and then up on her face. Get in there a little bit. Okay, up on her face. So, want to do around her hairline. And then this side of her face. Then around the eyes are going to cast a little shadow, so we want up here by this crease. Leave a little bit of a highlight up by that brow bone. Around her eye. And then underneath a little bit, just on the one side, and then down, we want over here on this inner corner as well, because that's going to be the bridge of her nose. Okay, so we want around this inner corner as well. And the outer corner of the eye. And up in the crease. Leaving a bit of a highlight by that brow bone. Okay. Make sure that's good. Okay, let's go ahead and put, so you've got, you gotta think about your face when you look in the mirror and put on your makeup. Where are you wanting highlights on your face? Where are you contouring? Coloring faces and doing makeup, very similar. And the more I think the more I color, the better my makeup gets too. So, because I'm paying attention. So you have a little bit, your nose is casting a shadow right underneath your nose. Inside. Long. There, so I've kind of added a nose bridge. Even though it wasn't drawn there, because of the way we've shaded, we can add it. Okay, and then this side as well. Okay, around there. I am not pressing hard. Very softly. You can always go over and make something darker later. I've got other colors to do that with too, so this just wants to be soft, and it's just kind of the idea where the shadows are going to be. Okay, maybe underneath her lip a little bit. So her mouth will cast a shadow. All right. Okay, so let's go to our next color, which is 946. This is dark brown, so this is a rather dark color, so we don't want to press too hard. We want to keep it light. Okay, we're just going to go over where we have the chocolate that we just put down. Just don't go out as far. Okay, so keep it a little tighter in. Okay. Around your tail. Okay. Again, we don't want to push hard, we're pushing lightly. And then we're not going out as far as we did with the chocolate brown. We're keeping it tighter into that shadow area. Okay, under this hair. Now the chin is going to make a shadow on her neck, so go ahead and fill that in. We'll go back over with the chocolate too to feather it out some more, so it's okay if you fill in all of the area, but we're just practicing. Okay, so then around her face. Okay, then we take this dark brown up on her face. So again, we want to go under the hairline. I'm not pressing hard, and I'm keeping that dark brown closer to the hair than I did the chocolate brown. And then around this eye, because this side of her face is turned away from us and this side of the face is closer to us, this side of the face is going to be darker. More of it's going to be in shadow, so my head. I'm pressing softly, but I'm not afraid to put down color. Okay. Around that eye, in that crease, just like you would your makeup, keeping a shadow or a highlight by that brow bone. And then here at the corner, inner corner of our eye, and lightly down around her nose. You contour your nose. Okay, so in this inner corner of this eye, and in the crease, the outer corner of the eye, and under her lip. Okay. Looking good. Okay, let's go back to that chocolate brown that we had before. And let's go over it again where we've put the dark brown and just feather it out. We're just pushing lightly again. Little circular motions, just very lightly, help with blend a little bit, and then feather that out. This is supposed to be a dark girl, so don't be afraid that we're putting down some color. Inner corner of her eye, around her nose, inner corner. Take your time, you don't have to go as fast as I am, especially if this is your first time. There's a pause, there's a rewind button. Go ahead and use them. Okay, now I think because of her tail here, I'm going to add a little of this chocolate on her waist. There, where the tail is meeting the body. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and add just a little bit of the dark brown, the 946, on there too. Get it up a little bit. Okay, and then back with that chocolate, just to blend it a little bit, feather it out. Okay. Now this isn't meant to be perfectly blended yet. We're not to that point yet. Okay, let's go in with, let's see, looks like we have dark umber 947 as our darkest color. So let's go ahead and add that. I hope I'm in focus. Okay, okay. So let's go ahead and add this dark umber, and we're going to stay close to in the corner. We're not going to feather out too much. And that tail. Just going to add more of that dark shadow in those places we need it. Okay. Looking good. Oh, I'm hearing my husband, my little boy. My husband's home today. They've been outside doing some gardening work, just pulling some weeds. Okay, so we're keeping this, not pressing hard, but keeping it close to the edge there. Okay, and then up on her face, do the same thing. On that hairline, keeping it fairly close. So that just adds a little more dimension in the shadow, if I can talk. Okay, close. On the outside of her eye, around the side, down. Giving that shadow. And I'm going to go ahead and put it on this inner corner of her eye. Lightly go down around the bridge of her nose a little bit. Very lightly there. Okay, and then again the crease of her eye very lightly. Let's go ahead and do the crease of this eye. Lightly underneath these lashes. Corner. And because this side is facing us, I don't think I'm going to go around this side of her nose, just because this color is a little dark. Okay, let's go around that side of her mouth though. Alright, then we're going to take light umber 941 and we're going to start blending and feathering this out further than the chocolate. Does that make sense? So we're going to start on the edge and feather it out slightly, and we're going even farther out than we did with the chocolate. Okay. forget her hand down there. So we're going over everything we've already colored in the shadows and then feathering it into that base color that we put down. Just leaving those highlights that we want. Okay, up on her face, do the same thing. Going over everything we've already put in the shadows, feathering it out into that base color, just leaving the highlights that we want. Okay, on her nose. Go ahead, remember that this side of her face is going to be darker than this side of her face. It's more in the shadow, so don't worry that your highlights aren't as big on this side as they're going to be on this side. The inner corner and on this side as well. Feathering it out. So we're using a sienna brown. We're adding just a little bit of that color to her cheeks. Very lightly. We're still going to blend after, so it's okay if it looks a little prominent. So right there in our cheeks, and then we're going to put it on our eyelids. And in the crease of our eyelid. And then underneath her lashes, let's put a little there too, feathering it out. Just to look like she's got a little warmth to her face. And then this side too, so a little on her cheek. And then in the crease of her eyelid. And on her eyelid. Just putting a little makeup on her. Okay. Let's go back to that Clay Rose 1017. And we're just gonna go over everything lightly. If there's a place that we really want to highlight, don't keep it low. So I'm keeping a little bit of a highlight here, a little on her navel. I'll keep a little highlight on her arm. Little highlight on this arm. And then her face, we just kind of want to go over the whole thing, keeping a little bit of a highlight on her brow bone. Go right over that blush so we can blend it in. Right over everything. Keeping the tip of her nose rather light and the center of her forehead rather light. Okay. Now we're going to take this putty beige, which is 1083, and we're going to blend now. So now we want to press a little bit harder and attempt to kind of mix those colors together, blend them out, and get it smooth on our paper. And let's go ahead and leave those highlights still. So we're leaving a highlight here in the bend of her waist. Leaving a little bit of a highlight on her shoulder. And leave a little bit of a highlight on this arm. Now I am pressing this time. My pencil is going to wear down. I might have to sharpen it in a few minutes. That's okay. See how nice and smooth that's making her skin? It's looking good. Okay, up on her face we're going to do the same thing. Blend those colors together. So go ahead and press. I'm going to leave a little bit of a highlight here on her bone, on her eyebrow bone. Okay, so now let's do, still blending, still adding pressure. Oh, I think my kid is coming in. I might have to pause for a minute. Okay. I'm back. They've been out there pulling weeds and found Mickey Mouse in the bush. So they're washing him off. Just a little plastic toy, but my 3-year-old's rather excited. Found his Mickey Mouse. Alright, so we're blending still. Applying some pressure this time. Let's go right up in the right of her eye. Not around her mouth. I'll leave a little bit of a highlight on her, in the middle of her nose. But let's bring this up a little bit. I don't want too big of a highlight. Okay. Over her forehead. And then I'm just gonna go lightly. Just really lightly there in the middle of the forehead to add a little more color. Okay. Okay, then we need to decide what to put in those highlights. I think let's go with let's try this eggshell, which is 140. It wasn't on our paper over there, but I think she could use a little more highlight. So we're gonna put this in that color. Now go ahead, I want to pull some of the color that's around it and blend it. Yeah, that's good. Okay. Just in those areas we want it to be a little more sun-kissed or light touching it a little bit more. Okay. Just applying a medium pressure. I do want this to blend. Okay, in that eyebrow. Nose. The center of our bridge of her nose there. And then just lightly the center of her forehead. Okay. Let's see. Wondering how dark that looks to you. She looks fairly dark on mine, but on my screen she's not looking as dark. So she's fairly dark there. Okay, so let's see about a lip color. I don't want too drastic different. So let's go ahead and take the sienna brown that we put on her cheeks and let's put that in the corners of her mouth, on the top and bottom lip there, and then around the bottom of the lip and around the top of the lip, kind of like you would apply eyeliner, but a little thicker than eyeliner because we don't want just a line. And then let's take that clay rose, go over the whole thing, go over her whole lip there. Her lips aren't very big, so we don't need to do a lot. So I think that's our skin tone for her. She's looking good. Alright, so we are going to move on to our palest girl. And we're going to do that her. It's our palest girl. And so I've pulled some colors. We have 997 beige. And then 1085 peach beige. And then 1051 is a 20% warm gray. And then some pinks, just a pink in the skin and her cheeks, Deco Pink 1014. And Rosy Beige 1019. Alright, so let's start by putting 997 all over her. Putting our base coat all over. She's got a little hand right there. Okay. Do you like to see me color in real time, or would you like it speeded up? So if you have a preference, leave it in the comments down below and I will take it into advisement. Okay, her hair comes around, but her neck is right there. And then over her eyes there. Round. This is just our base coat, so just a light layer. If you go over the lips, that's okay. If you don't go over the lips, that's okay too. Okay, have that light layer down. Okay, then we have 1085, our peach beige. She looks kind of yellow now. We're gonna go ahead and put in the idea of the shadows, the same as we did on our dark girl. So just a light layer where the shadows are going to be. Because she's pale, it might not show up as much as it did with our darker girl. So just put down enough on your paper for you to be able to see. Okay, around her tail. Wherever there would be shadows cast. You're gonna put it, so just put it more underneath her bosom there. Okay, and on this arm behind the fin. Good. Okay, and then we want to go around this hair. And her neck is all in shadow, so let's put that in there. Okay. All right, and then up on her face, around the hairline. Down around this eye and this cheek all the way down to her chin. So this time, this side of the face is closer to us and is going to be lighter, where this side of the face is away from us and is going to be more in shadow. Okay. Okay, then let's go ahead and go in the crease of her eye, under her eye around the eyelashes. I want to go on the inner corner of her eye. Okay. And then down where that nose would attach, down and around the nose, underneath the nose. Okay. All right, then let's do this eye. Go around where her eyelashes are. And just set that back. Then into her crease of her eye. Okay. The inner corner of her eye. And then down the bridge of her nose, around her nostril. Okay, and then underneath her mouth. All right, hopefully you can see that. Kind of added the idea of shadows right now. Okay, so now let's take our gray, our warm gray, 1051, And we're gonna just do the same thing. We're gonna get right closer, but in those shadow areas. But don't feather it out as far as you did the peach beige. Her hand there, don't forget that. Just taking a little drink. Okay. Under tail, under her bosom there, underneath where it's going to cast a shadow. Arm, and her little inner arm there. Then we need to go around her hair. Okay, and then her neck is in shadow. Go ahead and add it there. And then around her hairline. Okay. This side of her hairline. And then down this side of her face, underneath her eyelashes, up into the crease of that eye. Her cheek there. In the inner corner of her eye and down on that nose. Around her nose, underneath her nose, on the other side of her nose, underneath her lip. Then in the corner of her eye. Okay, into the crease. Into the outer, to the eyelashes. Next, let's go to 1019. This is the beige rose. And we're gonna go kind of give that gray a little more warmth. So we're just going right over the gray. Feathering it out a little bit, not too far though, just a little bit. Just to kind of warm up the gray so she doesn't look dead. Have a little pink to her tone. Okay, down her under lip. Anywhere you had, put the gray. Corner of her eye. The crease. Her neck. Around. Okay, just to add a little bit of warmth to that gray. Good, good. Then we have a little pink here for her cheeks. This is the Deco Pink 1014. And we're gonna put that in her cheeks. Just like we're putting on blush. Just rosy them up a little bit. Okay. And then I had a suggestion written on this piece, in this book with this color right here. This one we're doing of 1026 lavender gray and mulberry 995. So let's take that lavender gray and let's go ahead and put that in the crease of her eye. Give her a little bit of color, and then on her eyelid that we haven't been adding color to. I like to leave that to add a little color just like you would makeup. Give her a little makeup. So in the crease of her eye, and then right over that eyelid. And then blending it together there. Down around where our eyelashes are. Not going to add a lot, just a little bit into that like water line there. Add a little bit of color. Okay, and then, all right, then we need to go back to our, let's go back to our peach beige, which is 1085. Go into those shadows and feather them out, blending a little bit, making sure we've got some nice shadows in this darker, or in this lighter skin tone. She's lighter, but she still has shadows, so you blend right over the top of that blush that you put on. Okay, hope my hand isn't in the way too much. Her neck, down around her hair. Everywhere we've been putting those shadows, just go over the top of it and then feather it out, give her some little bit of color. Okay. Okay, then let's go back to our lightest color, which is the 997, the beige, and we are going to go over everything, blending, pressing a little bit this time. Blend those colors together. We can still leave that little pieces of highlight that we did on the last girl, so a little bit there in the curve of her waist. A bit on her shoulders, but then blending out everything else. Same thing with her face. I think it's so fun to do skin tones, faces, because we come in so many colors. So it's fun to play with, see what color combinations you can come up with, what colors are the undertones, what colors for cheeks, and it's just, I think it's fun. So I'm blending everything together, going right over the top of that pink that we put in for blush. nose. We'll leave a little bit for a highlight. Lightly going over her forehead. Okay, then let's go ahead and use the same color for highlight that we did on the other girl. So eggshell, PC 140. And we're just gonna go over those areas that we left for highlight. Thanks. Okay, and then let's use that mulberry that was suggested, $9.95, for her lips. So we're gonna go in the corner. This is a dark color, but I think it will be pretty. So just in the corner of her lips, and then down around the bottom, I think. Maybe fill in a little bit. Okay, and then let's take the rose beige that we used to brighten up that gray color, and let's go ahead and fill in her lips with that. Going right over the top of that mulberry and blending it all together. Okay. And there is our Palest girl. She's a little more yellow toned. Really pretty. Okay. Okay, so now we need to do our girl in the middle, and I think I've changed my mind. Instead of doing this one, which this is the combo I did in the jewelry box Hand with the Rose. So if you want to see this one, you can look at those colors in that video. But let's go ahead and let's do this girl. I think she'll be a little better complement to the other two that we've got. So let's go ahead and pull the colors for her. All right, so let's put a light layer of the light peach 927 over her skin. Okay. Our last girl of our triplets here. Okay, and then all over her face. Okay, we have an ear over there and an ear on this side, so she's got a little, can't forget those. All right, then let's move on to our 1085, our peach beige. Now, yep, so this is the same color we used on this girl to put in her initial shadows. So we're gonna use it on her and put in her initial shadows. So this where her shadows would be. Let's do the inside of her arm all the way down there. And let's do the inside of this arm. Okay, and then let's do her waist. Yeah. And then around her hair. Again, I'm just light pressure, just putting those, just so I can see where her shadows are supposed to be. All right. And her hair. And her neck will be in the shadow. So we'll get her neck. And then up on her face, we want to do her ears. It's there in the shadow. And then let's get her hairline. Okay, and then around her eyes, down her cheeks a little bit, and under her eyelashes, and then the crease of her eye. Okay, and then the inner corner of her eye. Okay, and then we want to do side of her nose. You can take that shadow for her nose all the way up to the crease of her eye. Okay, then down around her nose. Underneath, and she's got teeny tiny lips, big old eyes and teeny tiny lips, so we'll just put a little bit under her lip. Okay, hopefully that is showing up and you can see where we've put that. Okay, then we're going to go in with 1052, which is a warm gray, and this is just a little bit darker than the gray we used on our Palest girl. So this is 1052. We're going to do the same thing. This is a shadow, so go ahead and put it in those shadows. I don't always use gray for shadows, but these are kind of cooler toned girls rather than warm toned where we would use more rich browns. We just want gray. So we're using the gray for the shadows. We'll go in and put a little color in it in a minute like we did with the other girl. So around her hair. Anywhere there would be a shadow. Let's put around her waist so that when we put those scales in, it looks right. Okay, let's bring it up the inside of her arm a little ways. so that our arm doesn't look flat. Looks a little more rounded. Okay. Alright, then up here around the hair, and then the neck is in the shadows. And then her face, just like we've done on the other girls, we won't go around the hairline. We're keeping this gray closer to the hairline than we did the last color. Come down her face a little bit. Let's get those ears, they're back in the shadow. Come down around this side of her hairline. Okay, down her cheek a little ways. Okay, then let's go underneath her eyelashes and into the crease of her eye. Keeping it closer than we did the last color. Same on this side, in her eyelashes, and then in the crease of her eye. Then we want to go the inner corner of her eye. Inner corner. Around her nostrils, and then up the side of her nose, keeping it light touch. And not as flared out, not as feathered out as the last color, then down around her lip. Okay. Alright, let's go ahead and add just a little bit more up on this eye a little bit. Just because it looks like she has a little bit deeper set eyes. Just lightly, no pressure. Okay. Okay, then we're going to go in with Nectar 1092. And we're going to put some color into that gray. So light touch, this one is one that will lay down a lot of color. So a light touch, just going right over that gray. You could feather it out a little bit more than you did that gray color. We're just adding some color to the gray. Give her some life. We want this mermaid to be alive, not a zombie. Ooh, we could do zombie mermaids. Ooh. Right over that gray. Light pressure. I am feathering it out a little further than that gray just to add some warmth. Give our girl a little bit of color. You can do what you like. Want to keep her paler? Keep her paler. If you want more color, put more color. Okay, our neck's in the shadow there, so we did that. Okay, let's put here. Around her hairline. Around her eyes in that crease. Everywhere we put that gray color. Everywhere we've put those. And feather it out, light pressure. Give her some color. Down her cheeks a little bit. Her inner corner of her eye. Up sides of her nose. Where we put all that gray before. Then down around her nose. Under her lips there. Her little tiny mouth. Okay. And let's see, we have looking good on that one. She looks pretty good. Let's go back with our light peach and let's go over her. I'm gonna go over the whole thing, blend a little bit, about a medium to light pressure. Just giving her some color. Leave a couple of highlights, so highlights on her shoulders. Blend her together a little bit. Turn your pencil when you need to so that you have a nice point. Okay. Over her neck. Face. So over everything we've done, blend it in. I'm putting a little bit of pressure, not a ton, I'm not breaking my pencil, but a little bit of pressure. Blend it together. Her mouth there. Okay, lighten your pressure when you're over the nose, in the middle of the forehead. Over her cheeks, because we're still going to add some more color there. Okay. Let's get Processed Red. It's $9.94 and it says it's red, but it's kind of a pinkish color. And we're going to lightly add some color to her cheeks. Give her some rosy cheeks. Okay. This can be an intense color, so use a light hand. Okay, then go with your peach, your light peach. And go over the top of it. Blend it out. Okay, just give her a little touch. See what that blending does? Kind of helps bring it together. Okay, let's do this side. I'll get some more under there. It didn't blend very well last time. Okay. Okay. Give her little rosy cheeks. Yeah. Let's put a little color above her eyes. And let's do, okay, $9.44 terracotta. So we want to go into the crease of that eye. Again, this is a darker color, so Be gentle. And lightly over her lid. That crease on this side. And on her lid. As far down as you want. Side a little bit. Okay, then again take that light peach and blend it out. Blend, 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 blend. I think I want a little more color up here, just a little bit, so I'm going to add it a little higher and then use my peach to blend it out. Okay. How's she looking? I think she's looking pretty good. Okay, then let's take, this is Raspberry 1030, and you're gonna want to have a nice sharp point on your pencil. Go in the corners of her mouth, and then along the bottom lip. Okay. And then take your Nectar 1092, again with a sharp point, go over her whole lip, blend that into that raspberry. Just give her a little outdoor lips there. Okay, I'm looking at her and I think she needs a little more color. So I think I'm going to go with the Rosy Beige 1019, which was on our paper but haven't been used yet. Let's go into that shadow again. Just slightly add a little more feather. Just lightly. Okay. Her face, I'm just gonna go just on the edges because we've got quite a few color on her face, so not too much there. Just more on her body, and then take that light peach again and just blend it out. Okay. Face light in the middle of the forehead. Down her nose. Blend anything that looks like it needs it. Okay, then let's just take a little bit of our eggshell and touch a few places that we want highlights. On our side of our arms there, a little spot here. On the middle of her forehead, lightly. Down the middle of her nose. Okay. Looking good. So there you go. If you've been following along, you've just completed 3 different skin tones. So I hope you enjoyed this, and if you did and you want more tutorials like this, please push the like button down below. Don't forget to subscribe and push the bell icon so that you get notifications when I post, which is every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7 or 8 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. I'm not sure which one I have it set for. So I hope you have a good week and enjoy some coloring and some time to yourself, and I will see you next time. Bye!